For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think of that?
The only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often.
Well, that may be a tell then. I guess that's a half answer.
Yeah.
Do you plan to call him and maybe find out?
No. I won't do it. If he wants, he's going to be welcome, but I won't. I think he keeps that to himself, and you have to respect that.
Yeah, well, you have to respect that. Maggie Trudeau, a woman who very rarely wore underwear while being the First Lady of Canada, apparently visiting Fidel Castro on numerous occasions, Eric.
Only according to Fidel's daughter. So.
Fidel's his half sister or something. She's like
she's not saying
what she is.
Dignified, but she didn't deny it either.
Rock and roll people who know rock and roll know that she ran off with Ronnie Wood of the Stones for a while too, after he encountered her without underwear at a Stones show, which I think might have been their performance on SNL, but you're gonna have to check me on that. But she did run off with Ronnie Wood at one point.
Well, fair enough. I do agree with the headline, though, that her response was very telling. Like, well, his mother did visit quite a lot.
So did Karen Bass. Maybe she's related to him.
Oh, good Lord.
I think she visited 34 times, running guns back and forth and weapons.
Well, I never knew that Castro was such a sexy guy. I mean, I dealt with Cubans while I was down there. The one thing I never heard about Castro was that he was a sexy dude.
No, not just sexy. I mean, he had relationships with a lot of women. One who they flipped, who they tried, the one who tried to kill him. Mm-hmm. She was also she had a child with him. She had an abortion, but she was pregnant from him. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, and then there was the one who was, I believe, in either CIA, DIA, or FBI, but she was somehow in intelligence and literally worked for them for, I want to say, 16 to 20 years, had a radio inside her place and was just, radioing back all kinds of material to them. But yeah, their espionage has always been top notch.
Wow, yeah, their espionage has been top notch. You're right.
It is, to be fair, smaller countries who have their back against the wall.
Yeah.
Really
Good
talented
point.
at that. And, Israel's known for their intelligence. Other small countries, I think that's probably very wise. But either way,
Marita Colanzo, I think her name was. Marita Lorenz was her name. And she was also affiliated with some of the Watergate people. She had a relationship with one of the Watergate burglars. So everything goes around Nixon, which is kind of interesting.
I like your shirt, but I still think it's a subpar product compared to the America's Untold Stories merch that
I got the hat. I got the hat.
A pale tie-dye for celebrating on a Friday afternoon, chilling out with Freeform Friday. So that's always a good choice. Now, somebody else who was probably celebrating at one time, maybe not so much now, but holy cow, this guy, he did some interesting work, and here's a little clip.
$40 million worth of gold bars, millions in cash, and dozens of luxury watches. That's what FBI agents say they found in the home of an ex-CIA official last week. Good evening to you. I'm Scott Thuman. Those gold bars, according to court documents, were stolen from the federal government, and David Rush has now been charged with criminal theft of public money. 7 News' Christian Flores is live at the federal courthouse in Alexandria. And Christian, these are obviously very serious allegations. What are you learning from neighbors tonight?
Now, go with us. This guy, you got to give him credit. Apparently, he got discovered because he lied on his resume, it appears like he said, "Oh, I did this, I did this, I did this." So he kind of lied about his education,
No.
lied about his military service.
Let me just back it up a little bit, because he was caught because they checked his locker at the CIA and found that the stuff was missing. Let's just go back a little bit. They checked his locker. He was about to retire, 17 years in the service. He began to get this gold bars and watches from them for certain missions he claimed he was on, which may or may not be true. The resume goes back 17 years to when a guy named Leon Panetta was in charge of the CIA under Obama in 2009, and he wasn't vetted back then. Now they're looking back at his career, and they came up with what Eric is talking about. But the original dropping of the ball happened in 2009 when Leon Panetta, an outsider that people complained would not be able to run the CIA. I remember the day he started, Eric. The complaints were he knows nothing about intelligence. And this is what happened the same year. This guy claimed to be a naval test pilot. He was collecting money as a naval reserve officer, $77,000 in side money just from the Navy. Claimed to have gone to Clemson, a BA at Clemson, and a master's at RPI, which is Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York, a very famous institute up there. He claimed to have a master's from RPI. None of that was true. However, that being said, he seemed to have been given these things for legitimate reasons over time, and they were secured in a storage locker at Langley, like each person has. And so somehow this, over time, I believe, migrated to his house, which is when the FBI came in and took them all down. Now,
yeah, he was putting in, from what I understand, requests saying, "Hey, I need a little bullion to pay off this person."
And that's not unusual. This was during the hunt for the hunt for Osama bin Laden at the time, Eric. Who is then 2011, that begins to happen. So they were flying money over to Islamabad and to other areas of the country, even during the Afghan war, to bribe certain people, as we have since learned, pallets of cash flying to Afghanistan and Iraq, as we know, under the Bush administration. But this came, and the first guy they got on TV to try to clear himself was Leon Panetta. They gave him the first opportunity to just laugh in the camera and say, well, we're going to have to find out a little bit more about this gentleman. In other words, it happened on his watch. And that's why they gave him the chance to say something as Obama's handpicked CIA director, Eric.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he probably was a pretty damn effective agent if he could lie so easily about everything. It sounds like he has Gavin Newsom level lying ability.
Well, okay, so as you know, people can beat the box, but the question is, they're usually boxed just by contract once a year. So that's 17 times they either didn't inquire or he beat the box individually on other issues. I don't know what they're asking him annually in their CIA polygraph annual test. But that's just annual. There's random ones like drug tests that they do polygraph people. It doesn't mean it's infallible. Obviously, we now know, and Eric has pointed out before, that the box is beatable for pathological liars. But he's not constantly lying about his resume. That's already been established from day one. So that's not going to come up again and again and again. Did you go to Clemson? You know, I mean, I think once you're in the clear, and you could ask Amaryllis Fox if this happened to her, if she was constantly asked and polygraphed about 9/11, whether she lied about it or not, or got caught, because she didn't either.
Yeah, and again, though, I'm just saying his lying didn't stop there. Obviously, he was lying, saying, "Oh, I need the gold bullion for this," and a little on the side, a little bit on the side here. Some Rolex watches.
Right. Again, but as somebody in the CIA pointed out, that the Rolex watches, the reason he has 35 of them, they are traditionally used and given out as gifts to operatives.
Sure.
Right. But they're in his possession. So he's going to have to defend himself in court and explain. And that's going to be a whoopsie doodle They may invoke national security, his lawyers, which I assume that they will if they're smart.
Oh, they're going to try it, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
But this isn't like taking your laptop home from work.
No. This is,
This
I mean,
is
this is 1993 Aldrich Ames level stuff, Eric.
Oh, he just died recently, by the way.
Right, he passed away, but he accounted for over 20 deaths of operatives by him selling information, and that was him selling information. He was an alcoholic. Completely different story than this. The only thing in common is that they both work for CIA. But that being said, well, this defense is going to be a doozy.
Well, and also, to be fair, comparing this guy with Ames or Robert Hansen, who was the other really, really dirty one, I don't know yet that this guy sacrificed any operatives or gave any of that away. It sounds like he was just a thief.
Right.
So,
he may have been trying to retire, with this money and go to Guatemala or Belize or get a retirement home and move it offshore or whatever. It might have been his plan. But from what I heard, it started with them at Langley. He applied to retire. They went into his locker and they said, "Hey, what happened? What happened to that stuff we've been giving you for 17 years, bro?"
Oh, yeah, it's Bill has it.
Hey Mo.
Well,
all right. Well, that's a good story. We'll see where that one
it's going to be interesting on that. Okay. Well, I do have a follow up. We covered this on Tuesday, and I said that it looked dire, and I did confirm it. The guy who owned the Trump house did, in fact, pass away.
Yeah,
well, it looked like he was probably going to, but I just.
Well, they should just declare insanity for this guy and throw themselves on the mercy of the court.
From what I understand, that actually he probably legitimately could claim insanity. Like he really has some issues. But anyway, it's still a terrible, terrible, shocking.
Well, thanks for the follow-up.
Oh, no problem. So let's get back to uplifting. We'll go back and forth. Okay, so that's sad, but we got to cover it. This is kind of on a happier note, and it's good fiscal responsibility. CBS got rid of Stephen Colbert. Why? Well, it was financially prudent. It appears that they lost $40 million on Stephen Colbert, but they're profiting $15 million on Byron Allen. So they cut our entire losses, and they're actually earning money on the time slot.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they're not going to replace these people with that structure any longer. But Byron Allen, who's a brilliant businessman, has a show called Comic Unleashed, and he's had a number of other shows. He is purchasing that time slot like an infomercial. This is not CBS doing it. CBS is getting $15 million from him annually, and he keeps every single dollar of the ad revenue for putting on his shows in that slot. So they're now farming this out, as I predicted. They're not going to replace the hosts one by one as they go down. Now, you asked about Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, who's got a contract extension to 2028, has multiple shows on NBC, and I believe they will still pull the plug on the late night show and keep him for the other 2 or 3 shows that he's involved in at NBC. So his contract is not just for the late night show, Jimmy Fallon. Kimmel, I think, is going to be the next to go down.
True. By the way, did you see that Adam Carolla got a star on Hollywood
Big news out here. Big news here. Everybody's
Jimmy Kimmel, it's like not often I can say nice things about Jimmy Kimmel, but that is one of his closest friends. It's one of those unlikely pairings anymore politically, but Jimmy Kimmel did the presentation and was there and everything supporting Carolla. So I do appreciate that they can at least get along and get beyond politics, albeit, for a minute. And I saw that Dr. Drew is also.
Well, he doesn't have a dog in the hunt.
Oh,
he's off to France, Dr. Drew, for people who are looking for him. But there's a show called Hollywood Demons on HBO Max. That's really interesting about drugs and crime in Hollywood. And Drew was featured in a couple of episodes if people want to check it out.
Well, to be fair, is it legal to do a show on drugs in Hollywood without Dr. Drew? being involved?
Well, not only that, I mean, they're trying to revoke his license for selling the portable wellness company stuff, and it's political. It's a political hit. It has nothing to do with that. He wrote him a 10-page letter the other day, and they've been trying to do this for a number of years from different angles. Now they're trying this angle.
Well, it's a good time for him to write the letter and get at that, because Alex Berenson just finally prevailed.
Yeah, how about that? I forgot about that. I completely forgot about that case, Eric.
Well, because it's 5 years old now.
5 years old, yeah.
These things go on so long, but it is so important because the DOJ did it. Now it is obviously under another administration, but to be fair, people forget that Trump was a major figure in rolling out, Operation Warp Speed. He wasn't, telling Twitter, as we can.
Right. I mean, the case is about Berenson being kicked off Twitter by the Biden administration, and he's finally prevailed. And he said the amount of money it's only $150,000 that he said, but it's not about the money. He has another suit against them as well that's still pending. So he's not stopping at the 150,000, but the victory to him was more than the money.
What's his name, his reputation, and I hope he at least gets his legal fees as well, because that would make a difference too. That he could win those. All right, so while we're visiting the Biden administration for a minute, they're somehow back in the news. I guess Hunter goes on with Candace Owens, so mom and dad, or I don't know, stepmom and dad.
Well, she's got a new book, Eric. There's going to be a national book tour, so yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, and supposedly she's saying that she thought that Joe Biden was having a stroke during the disastrous 2024 debate with Trump.
Or drugged. She said. She also said drugged.
Really? Tell me more.
Oh yeah, in the book, yeah, absolutely. She first thought it was a stroke, then she believed someone had drugged him.
Wow.
It all goes out the window because moments after the debate, she takes him to Waffle House instead of the emergency room. So it's all a crock of shit anyway to sell a book.
Well, and Trump did a good job covering. He goes, yeah, and I noticed that she didn't go up to him. She didn't walk to him. And remember when she was holding him up saying, you were so good.
Good job, Billy.
Creepy.
Way to go, Billy. Way to go.
Yeah, the elder.
I'm surprised she didn't give him a cookie.
I guess he didn't fulfill all of his responsibilities, but yeah, it was just blah.
The book, apparently, according to inside sources, is her getting even with some of the internal people around them, whatever that means. I don't know, just people we may not even know, or people in his cabinet, or people in his inner socialist circle, more likely.
Oh, I'm sure, because they were supposed to hold him up or blah, 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 blah. But again,
right. I mean, he may have some bad words about she may have some bad words about Kamala Harris. But it's the book. I mean, think about it. To get the book deal, you got to have something, and you're going to have to put up or shut up, for salacious stuff, Eric.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to hear about, your bullshit problems.
Well, yeah. I think that the stroke, there had to be more than that, because it's like you sold the book on that. That is
no.
Really
that's just
sad.
a leak of what, that's just one of many, press releases that has to come out of a major book like that to be, to justify the tour and the price of the book. I'm sure there's more. I mean, look how long Kamala Harris's book tour was. I mean, hers just ended, and now this one is beginning. So they have these windows of opportunity. They don't overlap. They take their turn, trying to get through the Strait of Hormuz media to have their moment on The View. She is going to be interviewed by the incredible journalist Whoopi Goldberg at the 92nd Street Y in Manhattan. And then will people presume be a guest on The View, which is not a political show. It's like Meet the Press, according to the producers of The View.
So they claim. All right. For our a brief sports-ish story, I don't follow sports very well, so you might, but I don't know if you follow hockey at all. This NHL great, Claude Lemieux, unfortunately passed away by his own means. I believe yesterday. He, I think he was in 4 championships or 4 Stanley Cups, something like that. He's a New Jersey Devils hockey legend. I don't know much more about that. I just thought I'd, share it. Do you?
Mario Lemieux was probably the more famous of the Lemieux, but a dark day anyway for hockey. Phillies Dodgers tonight. Apple TV has it. They fucked up the entire thing, so nobody on the earth can see the game tonight. I'm not signing up for Apple TV again for one game. You may want to do that. Philly fans, I'm talking to you in Philadelphia. It's a big series for Philadelphia, more than for us because Phillies are hot and trying to come back now. But it's on Apple TV in case anyone's looking. There's a public service announcement I just did.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So catching up on the latest in Iran. Let me see. We have a couple days ago, we had Iran saying it targeted a U.S. airbase in retaliation for strikes that were essentially laid against the boats that were laying the mines and whatnot. And now, as of today, Trump has announced that the blockade is going to be lifted.
Nobody knows what's going on here at this point. Do you?
No.
Neither do I.
Don't.
All I could do is editorialize at this point. I commenting on these hour by hour shifts in the sand is a fool's errand. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know what I would do. And what I would do would be to force open the Straits of Hormuz while blockading the nation of Iran economically and let them negotiate at their leisure with the Straits open by the force of the American Navy, physically forcing those Straits open by the United States naval strength. That's what I would do. Let them choke to death economically, simultaneously, and open up the Straits to get the oil flowing to the rest of the world.
Sure.
That's it. I don't, strangle them economically, continue the blockade, physically, violently, militarily, if necessary, open up the Straits. I just find this hard to believe that this is an impossible military task, Eric. Now, you were down in Guantanamo. You've seen the power of the American Navy, having been down there and been involved in the military. I find it hard to believe that somebody can convince me that the United States military, with all those ships, with the Gerald Ford there, and aircraft carriers and destroyers and minesweepers, cannot open up the Strait of Hormuz. Nothing will ever convince me of that. I find that impossible myself, just as my personal thing. And if that is true, if that situation is true, then open up the Straits for oil, let it flow back and forth, let it flow out of there, choke off the Iranians until they are strangled to death economically. Who gives a shit how long that takes? And let the oil prices lower gas prices in the United States, Eric.
And to be fair, even a Gitmo, you don't have to look up. I go down the road to Norfolk.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
So many vessels.
Do you find it impossible that this military goal cannot be achieved? They have no navy, for Christ's sakes. I find this hard to believe that a couple of speedboats with bazookas is going to defeat the United States Navy.
It's obviously political pressure and whatnot.
Yeah.
There also could be a strain on munitions. If I'm being fair, I don't know what our supply is.
I find that hard to believe. Well,
under the Biden administration, because we shut so much down.
Well, no, they gave it to the Ukraine. They gave it to the Ukrainians.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, I actually could see that on hand we may have not had the biggest supply, and we're still trying to get more, manufactured at this point. But I don't know. It's a difficult question.
I saw Newt Gingrich was talking about 2016. Trump was running for the South Carolina primary, and he was bashing George Bush Jr. about the Iraq War, Eric, and hammering him about in 2016 during that primary. And Newt Gingrich gave him a call and says, look, here's some advice. Bush has an 80% approval rating in South Carolina. You may not want to keep hammering him. And Trump said, he said the war was wrong. He was stupid for doing it, and I don't give a fuck if I lose this primary. And Newt Gingrich knew at that point that Trump was a real leader who did not put his finger in the wind, according to Newt Gingrich. And I thought, holy shit, I never heard that story before. And Gingrich was talking about it, and he came on board the Trump train at that point, Newt Gingrich, simply because he had given him this advice, and Trump told him, I don't give a shit. And he was making the analogy to the midterms right now, that he has bigger fish to fry in terms of world history, in terms of stopping them from getting a nuclear weapon. And in fact, in an interview yesterday with his daughter-in-law, he said, midterms come every 2 years. I can't run the country like that. You know,
he gave a little discourse on that, saying that, if I was doing the cynical, I would have to wait till the midterms, and the second they're done, I have to do the attack. But there's a very narrow window, and I just can't really think about that now.
You heard that, huh?
There was a clip on it. And
it was very fascinating insight into how he thinks regarding politics versus the world order and peace and stopping the Iranians from getting a nuclear weapon. That may help explain a lot of his actions, in terms of how he rolls, Eric.
Well, I think most people would claim that's what we are hoping for, that a person being president, we understand that they run as a politician, but we hope they serve as a statesman.
Kennedy-esque would be my word for that, because JFK did a lot of stuff that was not in the best interest of the Democratic Party at the time. But you kind of usually when that happens, it's usually when you've got high poll numbers and have the ability and wiggle room to do that kind of stuff. He's in the high 30s nationally, high 40s in places like Texas and Florida and other areas. But by the way, we didn't say goodbye to Chip Roy, who lost for the Attorney General slot. He's done. Chip Roy, who voted for the impeachment of Donald Trump, another loser, goes down the drain. He will be replaced by a guy that I know, one of the great Yankees of all time, Mark Teixeira, who will be running in November in that congressional district and will ride that super red district to victory. Mark Teixeira, a great baseball player and hopefully a great politician, and a guy that I like and spoke to a number of times.
Well, while we are saying farewell, we can also say farewell to the Senator John Cornyn, who apparently had to one-up Senator Cassidy. So remember that Senator Cassidy had the worst primary in 80 years. But not to worry. He didn't hold the record long.
Right.
Apparently, Cornyn had an even worse primary.
What was it, 65-30 or something? What were the numbers again?
It was insane, and I think he won what district in the whole state or something?
63.8 for Paxton and 36.1 for John Cornyn. This is Liz Cheney level.
A good point.
Let me tell you something. People who believe that MAGA is slipping away should have their fucking heads examined. The guy is now 118-0, Donald Trump, in endorsements at the level of the Senate, House, and governorships. 118-0. And they used to mock, I remember 2 years ago, certain pundits mocking the idea that you could primary people in the Republican Party who did not get along with him. Ha, ha, ha. What a ridiculous. I mean, no president, there's a record that'll never be broken. No president has ever come close to this. 118-0 for Trump. Crazy, Eric. Absolutely crazy record.
Yes, and his numbers too, they're greater than Bush, anybody. I mean, he's popular within his own party. It's very, very hard.
Yeah,
to,
which they're claiming
yeah.
he's not. That's why I'm mentioning it. I don't care what the Democrats think of him. I mean, that's their problem. But he has a 95% approval in MAGA and mid 80s to high 80s across all Republicans, which is pretty darn good.
Yeah, and they actually showed, I don't have it on hand, but Inton covered it showing how in 2015, Bush was like at 80% and Trump was at 30%. And now Trump is at 80% and Bush is like at 30%. So, I mean, it's literally reversed itself.
Yeah. Yeah. He has taken control. And you and I talked about this for, a couple of years. Like, when is he going to step up and mete out justice to these rebels within his own party? Well, he has gone full LBJ at this point. I mean, Thomas Massey is fishing off the coast of Costa Rica with this Marjorie Taylor Greene getting drunk with her, saying he's going to run for president, I guess, of Costa Rica. Give me a break with this guy.
He's running for something, but she just wrote this loving farewell letter or whatever to the man. It's just, you know what is?
They're fucking nuts.
It's hilarious because it's like the has-beens all together saying, we're going to do it. We're going to get together. We're going to take it all back because we're America first.
Yeah.
It's us. It's us.
They got drunk with their own minimal amount of media publicity. They got drunk on their own sauce. I think that's the by the way, they passed the Nick Shirley Act out here, by the way, when you were busy all week. It's AB 2624, preventing anyone from investigating an NGO and recording them or looking into it, aka the Nick Shirley Act, penned by the wife of the Attorney General of the corrupt state of California.
Wow, unbelievable. Well, you know what, Mo? I always like to interrupt with great news, and I still have some great news.
What do you have?
We still have a sponsor.
And 134,000 subscribers.
Oh, that's true. To celebrate our we've gone from 133 to a.
How long was it? 133,000. No, it was 133 for most of my adult life, and somehow the lever changed overnight to 134,000.
It's so funny because I was like, oh, wait, we can put out a little badge saying that we hit the number. It's like, no. Now, because it's over 100,000, we need to hit 135,000 before we have a badge.
We have to have a banner, right?
So
that's going to take 2 years. Call us in 2 years. By the way, you could like and subscribe at this point while Hunley's putting together his storyline there. Because apparently 1,000 people must have since... whenever this started, the death of 133.
Absolutely.
Somebody's subscribing. I think we're getting rid of the hate, Eric.
Yeah, we get some new every time. But you know what? People who don't hate us and people we love are Surfshark. Hey there. Before we go any further, Mark and I want to quickly thank today's sponsor, Surfshark. You already know that you need a VPN to protect your privacy, but Surfshark goes way beyond the basics. They just rolled out 2 incredible new tools. First is the web content blocker, which gives you excellent parental controls for when you have family over and don't want the little ones traveling to the darker corners of the internet. Second is the email scam checker. You can check your email in your inbox and see if it is a scam or phishing attempt. This takes the guesswork completely out of your security. Another fantastic value is that one Surfshark subscription covers unlimited devices. A lot of software subscriptions lock you down to 5 devices or fewer, and you can run out quicker than you think. Just look at my house. Between our computers, tablets, and phones, plus the Apple TV, we have 8 devices. You probably have something similar in your family. Plus, I know a lot of you watch America's Untold Stories and other shows right on your televisions. Surfshark has apps for all platforms: PC, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, smart TVs, Amazon Fire TV Stick, Apple TV, Chrome, Firefox, even Xbox and PlayStation. This is a massive feature because it means you can use Surfshark to easily geolocate to different regions and unlock international shows directly on your TV. You don't have to deal with the awkwardness of trying to cast from your phone or hooking up a laptop just to watch something that isn't available in your market. Now, we've got an exclusive deal for you. Go to surfshark.com/AUS and use code AUS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. Again, that's surfshark.com/AUS and use code AUS for 4 extra months. The link and code are also down in the description. Now, let's get back to the show. It's so funny to watch the chat. I've got everybody talking about, oh, if he actually had pep in his voice, he could be doing the come on down. You're the next contestant. And others that are getting sleepy. And some say ASMR. And I'm like, okay, this is fun to definitely watch and follow as a.
Yeah, I would try it if I was a civilian who lived in a place where they wanted some privacy. And also the spam thing is great. That phishing thing really is a hook, for this product.
Well, not only that, here's another thing, and I forgot to bring it up, but you can watch, like if you have Roku or Apple TV or any of the devices, let's say you just happen to like British comedies or what have you, instead of having to pull out your laptop and then you go blah, 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 and then connect and then sling it to the TV or get your phone to try to connect to the TV, you can have it right there and just go click, and all of a sudden your Netflix catalog is the European Netflix or whatever country you wish to watch without doing anything, just right there with you.
I want Cuban Netflix. Is there a Cuban Netflix?
I don't know. I
mean, they tried. If you listen to Mike Benz a couple of years ago, he was talking about how the deep state set up a Cuban Twitter to lure in and see what, not for them, but it was for the intelligence to see what certain people were saying.
That was USAID.
Yeah.
Just like Iraqi Sesame Street. They have, we have.
No, but this was a real good intelligence gathering device, because people are writing, go fuck yourself, Castro, or I love you, Castro. And you go, oh, that's Jimmy Casanovi, lives at 121212 Che Guevara Boulevard. Oh, we got him. Okay.
Also, there was another intelligence op that was going around. I don't know if it's DEA or CIA. It was somebody, right? And it involved a VPN, which was not Surfshark. They got a VPN that was being adopted by people to, hide messages. It
was a phony VPN.
Yes, and they just were collecting everything.
Dear God.
It was like, oh, hey. But
well, what about that server that said they wouldn't sell your info, and it turned out they would sell your info? I forget the name of it now. They got caught selling the information. But that being said, keep an eye on, I'm just putting this out there, don't get afraid. Keep an eye on Cuba this weekend, because I think something might happen militarily in Cuba while nobody's looking. And now back to the show.
Could be.
and now back to the show.
Oh yeah, no worries. Okay. I don't know if you saw this story, but I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and then now it's getting a lot of traction now and going viral. This woman
girl
getting
with
pulled
ring
over
and
by
nose.
a cop for.
Oh Jesus.
She was pulled over for using her cell phone while driving.
Ooh.
Okay, so we had court this morning and dismissed. So apparently it was dismissed over the weekend. Yesterday night when I went and checked the time.
What you're looking at in the background is,
what is that?
Cop pulled you over for using and talking on the cell phone. He said, I watched you. You were holding your cell phone up.
No, stop.
And she goes, no, I was not. And he said, are you telling me you did not have your cell phone in your hand? And she said, no, I did not. And she held up her stump. And that is her
for the love of God. That's the oldest trick in the book, the phony stump, Hunley.
Look, I give it to her. If you're going to cut off your arm to hide it. Now, to be fair, there was another person who had part of her arm missing, somebody British, and she actually could prop her cell phone up using her stump.
Oh, I'm sure. We saw that guy with no arms and no legs shoot a guy a couple of months ago. The dwarf guy, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He's not a dwarf. He's just limbless.
Oh, I thought he was small. Right. He was just because he was simply a thorax, you're saying that.
Well, yeah, it does cut your height. When you knock off the legs.
I forgot about that. He did look small without any legs. You're right.
Yeah. He kept telling him to stand up, but he never,
never really could. Never. Boy, Did you see that the Pope is in Chicago? visiting the Marxist mayor and also George Floyd's lawyer and family. I mean, what kind of Pope is this? I don't understand. What is the deal with this guy? How about just saying some prayers and calling it a day?
Well, it gets even worse than that. You've got him visiting there, right? But then you have Anthropic, who is at the Vatican right now with all the cardinals, recruiting the church to dictate policy. Now, I don't know if you remember about Anthropic, who makes Claude. They were banned and removed from the DOD as because of the contract dispute.
Yeah.
So now they're going to the Vatican. Now,
what is the Vatican? The Court of Appeals or something? You get rejected at one court, you go to the higher court of spiritual matters.
Well, it's almost like going back to medieval times.
Yeah.
Why is it the Pope and the Vatican are talking about politics at all here?
Of course, it's insane. And everyone's going, how dare you criticize the Pope? Criticize the Pope? I mean, this guy does everything but Popey stuff. He doesn't do anything Popies do. He's the anti-Pope.
Yeah, and we're supposed to just go, oh my God, he's an American.
Who gives a shit? Great. Let me tell you something. The guy's a Cubs fan and he's a Bears fan. And this mutt Johnson just lost the Bears from Chicago, who are leaving Chicago. Maybe the darkest thing on his record, because nobody gives a shit what else he's doing. The Bears are either going to Indiana or they're going to Arlington Heights, Illinois. But they're leaving. They said yesterday, we're done. He could not put together a group to build them a stadium. And bye-bye Bears. Bye-bye Bears. One of the worst things that could possibly happen on a mayor's watch.
Wow.
It will break this week, but they are done. Arlington Heights is, if I don't know Illinois completely, but it's a 25 miles outside of Chicago. Hamden, Indiana is the other choice. I don't know anything about Hamden, Indiana, but I'm assuming it's on the border of Indiana and Illinois. But people tell us yourselves where these places are.
Oh, okay. Is it kind of like Geary, Indiana, which is really kind of an extended suburb, where the Jacksons grew up? Well, I
have no idea. Okay. Only the people who live there can tell us. But what I am saying is, the Bears have made a final decision to leave Soldier Field in Chicago, and that's the end of an era.
Okay, yeah. Somebody say 20 minutes from Chicago. So so they're essentially doing like the New York football teams.
Yeah,
going to Jersey. They're just going to.
Well, the point of the matter is they're leaving the actual city limits of a urban metropolis, and a tax base that will no longer allow Johnson to use those taxes for socialist matters.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Tip of the hat. Now, I'm going to tell you something right now, which is completely inside. Jessica Tisch, a couple of news things about Jessica Tisch. Jessica Tisch will be marching in the Israeli Day Parade. This mayor will be the first mayor not to do it. There's going to be a lot of firepower on rooftops and intelligence operatives that are infiltrating the crowd. They have rumors and evidence of agitators coming from outside the state of New York to disrupt the Israeli Day Parade. Okay, that's one thing. So every single cop has had their vacations and days off canceled. The intelligence units are infiltrating into the parade route. Tons of undercover cops. Jessica Tisch, of the famous Tisch family of the Lowe's Corporation, and Tisch family, and also the Giants. She's, from the family that owns the Giants. She will be marching in place of the mayor. Now, what I'm hearing is she will resign the police commissioner job at some point at the end of the year, or maybe sooner if he pulls the plug on her. She will be using her unlimited wealth to primary Mandami and try to take him down as mayor of New York. Her family is worth worth $10.1 billion, Eric, and she's decided to save the city that not only was she born in, but is 3 generations of Tisches going all the way back to the early late 1800s. She is completely disgusted with Mandami and what he's doing, and she has decided to take matters into her own hands.
Good.
Yeah.
I hope she does. I mean, she has.
Well,
to
it's going to be the
ultimate.
ultimate.
He hates billionaires, so a billionaire should all attack him.
It's going to be the. Don't understand how contentious this is going to be. It's going to be Jew versus Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes. I mean, what could possibly go wrong there? I mean,
well, I mean, how many? No offense, how many? I know that not all of them did, and he wasn't super popular, but somehow that guy got elected.
Who, Bloomberg or?
No, Mandami.
Mandami. Yeah, it was very low turnout.
Unfortunately, I feel like there are some Jewish people that weren't looking out for their best interest.
Well, I mean, you had like a 10-12% turnout of the electorate, and maybe 15%. That things can happen when you have zealots. But if you have a nationalized race anywhere in the country, including this Pratt thing, because Pratt flew to New York last night and did Gutfeld on Fox. I mean, maybe Gutfeld could have gotten off his fat ass and flown out to LA instead of making this guy stop campaigning to come to New York and go in his Fox studio. But that's a side issue. He came there for fundraising and also media exposure on the national level, and he got it.
He did the rounds there. I think he did more than just Gutfeld.
But what I'm saying is, to nationalize these campaigns are very helpful. Even though they can't vote in them, they can raise money for campaigns like the mayors of big cities.
No, and what a coincidence. We happen to have a slew of stories, so we'll use this as a segue into California. Polymarket is saying Karen Bass has collapsed more than 10 points, and the odds are starting to, tighten up. Interesting things here. There was a new poll that's showing her as being very vulnerable with Raman, who's back. So I'm very confused about that. And, it's like Nithya seemed to be down and out, and now all of a sudden she's gaining a lot of ground, and it could be a runoff between Nithya Raman and Spencer Pratt come November, which would be weird.
Absolutely. I mean, it's within 2 or 3 points between the three of them now. I don't know what these poly markets have anything to do with this betting thing, because there's so much undecided, and these people are within 2 or 3 points of each other now, based on this recent poll this week. That being said, I mean, Pratt is all over the place in LA. He's on every street corner, and there's a lot of lawn signs for Pratt. I never thought I'd see that, but to her credit, Nithya has an army of socialist young girls who are 20 years old, groups of chicks who are college-age chicks going door to door for her. So she's got her socialist army out there. And their number one focus is no white man can ever be elected mayor of Los Angeles. It's just beyond, it's the equivalent of us being outraged that a communist would be elected mayor of an American city. They have an equivalent level of outrage that any white male on the face of the earth could be elected mayor of the city of Los Angeles, which is in their tweets. I mean, that's what they're referring to. I'm not just saying that. That's their bone of contention, is that he's a white male.
I agree. I tend to agree. I don't remember if it was Dan Turrentine or the other Democrat on two-way, but they were saying flat out that honestly, Raman is worse for Pratt than Bass, because Raman has no record.
That's right.
To go against, whereas Bass is a failure. That's right there. And of course, she's done no soul searching, according to this story. Karen Bass says Spencer Pratt's insurgent campaign hasn't prompted any soul searching for me.
No.
Her
arrogance is breathtaking. She hasn't done anything wrong. Nothing's wrong with the city. She needs a couple more years to make it perfect. And along with everybody else in the city, is pointing out that it's completely coming apart at the seams. She's almost like Nero fiddling while Rome burns. She may go down. She has no presence. There's no electricity. There's nobody. I mean, I think she got fucking Jane Fonda to endorse her, who's 85 years old, living in a nursing home in San Luis Obispo at this point, for Christ's sakes. Doesn't even live in the state. Lives in Montana or something. I mean, she can't even get celebrity endorsements, Eric.
Yeah, is Jane still getting Ted Turner's dead now, so she might, maybe her money's gone. I don't know.
No, I don't know about that, but she's had a number of husbands besides Ted Turner, and has made money herself. I mean, let's face it, she's done about 100 movies. But the reality of it is, the endorsement of Jane Fonda is not going to put Karen Bass over the top. And Spencer Pratt may end up, like you said, being in a November election with Nithya.
Yeah.
Or it could be Bass and Nithya, which is what they wanted from day one. Yeah, I could very easily see that.
Good luck on who you vote for then.
Yeah, it's socialist versus socialist at that point.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do. That is a stay.
Yeah, it's very
home.
confusing. I mean, I just filled out my ballot, my sample ballot last night, which takes hours and hours and hours because you got to research every fucking guy in there and vote for the lesser of 900 evils most of the time. But that being said, Becerra, Xavier Becerra, was at 7%, and he's now the leader in the Democratic governor's race. And I predicted he will be the governor of the state of California when the dust settles. He's gone from 7 to
We're getting a look at where gubernatorial.
Oops, sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's going to be him and Hilton probably in the runoff. Now, Chad Bianco, aka douchebag with a mustache, with his 13%, refuses to get out of the race. He wants to take his 13 fucking percent back to San Bernardino and then put it up on a mantelpiece for his family to see for the rest of his life. If he got out of the race, that 13 would almost automatically go to Steve Hilton,
At least
giving him
would go over.
Right, of course. I mean, but everyone who is of the 13% is clearly a Republican, Eric. I mean, there's no Democrats in the Hilton or Bianco camp, I would presume, mathematically. But he's been consistently sitting on 13% in like third or fourth place.
Yep, no,
but he simply can't pull the plug. And he just said, fuck you to Steve Hilton. I'd rather see you lose than for me to get out of the race and give you my 13%. What a piece of shit of the week.
No, I mean, that's to be expected. Circling back, it appears that they're finally trying to attack Pratt on the deep fake laws.
Yeah, they're going to go after him on that, but he has completely captured Karen Bass violating California election law by campaigning and making a campaign video at the ballot box. So he's got her dead to rights. He has filed an official complaint with the Election Commission of the City of Los Angeles. It went to the county clerk. The county clerk took one look at it and said, this is very serious. The LAPD is now sitting on Spencer Pratt's complaint that she violated a California election law by making a video, campaigning at a ballot box, and having everyone there while she's putting in her ballot. I mean, it's a slam dunk. As you're well aware, you can't campaign within 100 yards, 300 yards, whatever it is, of a campaign center, of a ballot center. She made a video of her putting her own ballot in, surrounded by people with campaign signs, Eric.
And of course, her police department is sitting on it.
Right. That's why you have the chief of police in your pocket. That's exactly right. The county clerk, what they did was brilliant in California. They do this all the time. They pass things along until it dissipates and disappears. The county clerk took one look at this thing and said, this is a slam dunk. I got to get it off my desk. I'm going to give it to the LAPD. And everybody's going like, why would the LAPD be involved in this? It's not a criminal activity. This is election fraud, election ballot fraud. So he got out of it, the county clerk, who, by the way, is an avowed Marxist, and he gave it to the LAPD. But she countered, you're right, with that article you just put up. She countered with the deep fakes thing, saying that his videos, even though he didn't make them, he has to be arrested for violating the new deep fake law in the state of California. of
Which
using AI.
I do love, though, because he is not making any of these ads. These are independent operators and filmmakers, AI people who are making ads, his own ads, like the Prince of Bel-Air one that he did. That was a straight out ad. There was no
Right. Well, they
deep
saw people like you coming, Hunley. They saw that when they created the legislation. And in the legislation, it says if you pass it on, you're just as guilty as the creators. It's in the I thought the same thing that you
But
did.
I don't think he has passed it on.
He has.
Has he just retweeted
from
it?
his accounts, he's retweeted them. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Let's help him along. We've got one more here.
Oh, right on.
Oh God, please. My daughter, she's sick.
Spencer Pratt is the common sense choice for Los Angeles. Just look around. The city is a mess and our leaders have failed us. Homelessness, crime, drugs, everything is worse under Karen Bass.
This is bad. She's caught the Pratt. How did this happen?
We restrict her media diet. New York Times, MSNBC, NPR, maybe CNN if we're feeling frisky. Something must have slipped through.
Does she know anyone at all, who thinks for themselves?
I don't know. I don't think so. What is this?
It starts with a mild cough. And then, next thing you know, you hate seeing homeless drug addicts injecting your kids. It's very contagious. I'm going to prescribe 4 doses of NPR every hour on the hour, 2 doses of the New York Times, and 5 doses of the LA Times.
Why was Karen Bass in Ghana while the city was burning?
6 doses. 6 doses of the LA Times. We'll have to hold her in quarantine with the others for a few days. It's protocol.
Oh, bravo. Bravo. Yeah, they're panicking over Pratt. I mean, they are trying to pull levers of power like have never been pulled before. Of course, no one's ever been charged with this deep fake thing or anything. They are just desperately staying up, burning the midnight oil, Eric. And their policies are still during the campaign completely reminding everyone about what they did. Carl's Jr., one of the great hamburger outlets in the state of California, because of the $22 an hour minimum wage that Newsom arbitrarily implemented for fast food. In other words, imagine you have a business and somebody says, we're going to implement a $25 an hour minimum wage for the furniture business. And you go, what? You go, yeah, we've chosen the furniture business. They chose the fast food business, which hemorrhaged, according to lobbyists, 18,000 jobs in the past year and a half since the bill was signed. And now Carl's Jr., the sponsor of the Los Angeles Dodgers, has filed for bankruptcy, citing the minimum wage hike by Gavin Newsom. There's no wiggle room here. The CEO said, we're destroyed, we can't function, file for bankruptcy, closed 50 Carl's Jr.'s in the state of California. And I guess the Dodgers are going to have to find another sponsor. And this is going on while the gubernatorial and mayoral campaigns are happening in real time. The destruction is happening in the news.
That is more dire than a lot of people realize, because Carl's Jr. is also Hardee's.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a larger thing.
Well, they predicted this. They begged the governor not to do this. They lobbied the governor not to do this. The governor told them to go fuck themselves. He wanted to have the $20 plus minimum wage just for fast food workers. They told him it would lead to the demise of the fast food. And he said, let the chips fall where they may. 18,000 jobs lost later. Now he's leaving the state of California, Newsom, to bring his policies to the great nation of the United States.
Yep. And I'm sure that all those lost jobs he will blame on those greedy. How dare you declare bankruptcy, you greedy corporation?
Well, the 18,000 was before they did, and it was a combination of the various fast food outlets. But nevertheless, imagine targeting one industry for wage increase as if you know how that industry works. In other words, there are geniuses who just specialize in fast foods.
Oh, yeah.
He said, I don't give a fuck about that. I want you to pay your employees, because I woke up today, $25 to $23 an hour. And they said, why us? Because I can. In other words, why the fast food industry? I mean, the people in the fast food industry who run it don't really care about fast foods. They're businessmen, Eric. It's not about fast. What do you think? They wake up and right, it's just a category. To him, this was a specially unique category that needed to have $23 an hour workers, and now they lost 18,000 of those workers who were making 11, 12, 13, 14, $15 an hour. So they're gone now. Tip of the hat to Gavin Newsom.
Well, it's tip of the hat to California, because there's precedent for this too. Remember the gig worker bill because they were going after Uber? My favorite outcome of that gig worker bill, though, was all the douchebags that wrote for all the online zines and blogs and stuff like that were celebrating it, lost their jobs because they were gig workers. So that was wonderful. And then now, of course, by the way, those same douchebags were always saying, learn to code. You know, when the AC people and stuff, they were losing their jobs, they were like, oh, learn to code. Well, guess what? Their jobs have been taken over by AI, and they better not learn to code, because the coding jobs are being taken over by AI too.
Well, let me just, about the political situation in Los Angeles, keep in mind, in LA itself, the city, only 15% are Republicans. That's why I kind of hope, my hope is kind of like not really, that this is going to work, but it could put Pratt on a national spectrum. It could push Pratt into a California spectrum in terms of political awareness. It could push Pratt to another level. And it's also created a lot of focus on LA and the problems in California combined with the thing. So there's an upside to it. Can he overcome a city that's 15% Republican? That's hard to do mathematically, unless there's just an incredible groundswell and it's him, hopefully Bass, so he can keep going after and hammering her. But if it's Nithya, like they said on two-way, that's a more difficult problem.
Yeah, I kind of feel, and maybe I'm wrong, if Pratt were to win as LA mayor, you could be looking at the next governor.
Absolutely. At the least.
I mean,
at the least. But that being said, I again, the same thing holds true. It's a little bit more, there's a little bit more Republican strength in the state than there is in the city. Yeah. So Hilton has a better chance than Pratt does.
That would be your dream come true. If it was a Hilton Pratt combo, that would just be
I'd run naked through the streets. Are you kidding? It'd be insane. It would be insane. But I mean, it's a weird situation because, Trump can't really help them.
No.
Right. So, I mean, what do you do? I mean, it's you could get money nationally, I guess, but it's going to be a long campaign in the summer. And we're going to find out who is in it in a couple of days. In other words, you're raising money. Why would I give you money today? I don't know if you're going to be in it on Thursday because of these jungle primary structures. I mean,
in California, Tuesday is the primary. So get out there.
Tuesday's the primary. That's the end of it. But then you go, well, will you have the results on Wednesday, Mark? Nah, not on your life. We get 3 weeks to count the votes. 3 weeks. I think Uganda did it in 6 hours.
No, they had a pre-done outcome too. I mean, how long does it take to count votes?
No, but I'm saying there are entire countries that count them faster than they will the mayor or gubernatorial race.
Yeah, they can count them as fast as they want them. I mean, that's
right, but I'm saying that like when Rick Caruso went to bed 3 years ago when he was running against Karen Bass, he went to bed a winner and woke up with the thing in question. It wasn't a loser yet. He was a winner for a couple of days, and then as the time marched on, after 3 weeks, Karen Bass was the mayor, and they said, "Okay, we got enough. Let's call it a day, boys."
By the way, we had Rick Caruso on the show. We'll have to.
No, we didn't.
I thought we did.
No, not Rick Caruso. I would remember that.
Okay, who was it? Wait, because we did have a candidate.
We had Nate Hockman, the district attorney.
Well, I know we had Nate Hockman, but
yeah.
Okay, I could have sworn Caruso. All right, I can't.
We had the former DA on, Steve Cooley.
That's him. Cooley. He went through the same thing, right? With Kamala, where his he went to bed and I get confused.
But that was for Attorney General. That was for Attorney General. Yeah,
all right,
Steve Cooley was the DA. It's a DA of Los Angeles before the Cuban, kind of a nonpartisan guy, ended up running for Attorney General against Kamala Harris.
All right,
but I'll give you this. This just came today. This is the endorsement of the California Post for Steve Hilton, the official endorsement. So that helps a little bit.
Sure, that does help more. Armaja said that James Woods endorsed Pratt, and I'm like, that's not necessarily a help in LA.
Well, he says that DiCaprio endorsed him privately, and he's saying it. He says DiCaprio called me up and endorsed me, so I have to believe him.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of people are privately endorsing him, but
I'm saying he's saying it out loud, so it's not that private anymore. And DiCaprio didn't shoot it down, so I assume he's telling the truth.
All right. Sounds fine to me. Now, you sent me this earlier. Todd Blanche tweeted this out a few days ago. The Supreme Court again reversed the Fourth Circuit, this time with a 9-0 decision. I don't remember which case this was on. I think it's the employee case.
I don't remember myself. Let me see.
Okay.
And sends a clear message. No records and political controversies of the day. Supreme Court again reversed the Fourth Circuit as the Department of Justice argued it was wrong to try to rewrite the statute of the process.
All right. Well, we'll jump.
Yeah, we'll jump to the next one. Yeah.
All right, because the next one is
maybe that'll explain it.
Well, it was great that the Supreme Court did a 9-0 decision that is somewhat reasonable. Unfortunately, there's other decisions like this one where they just didn't even bother hearing. Now, remember, all these people, you're hearing about these deaths and whatnot from the immigrant drivers. Florida apparently is suing, and other states are suing, trying to go after the people, states who are licensing these. And the Supreme Court's not even going to listen.
Well, I mean, to their credit, I know Thomas is upset, but this can be handled at the state level. I mean, in terms of, I think it was Indiana or some random state found like over 300 of them were illegal aliens with truck driver's licenses.
Right.
I mean, just hundreds of them. What are they advertising this overseas? Come to the United States and drive a truck?
Look, I think it's like any other group. Like nail salons are all Vietnamese. It's a weird thing. So no, I'm just saying because like these truck drivers
in a nail salon.
Well, let me get there. These truck drivers are typically Indian, and you find these ethnic groups, and they get locked into like a particular industry. That's why I brought up the nail salons and the Vietnamese. There were several Vietnamese, and there were like some families. And then it spread throughout the country. People coming in from Vietnam were picking up jobs at nail salons. I think it's a similar scenario here. If you probably rolled it up, you would find there were a handful of people involved with the trucking industry or whatever, and then they were bringing in more Indians.
Okay, well, I disagree with that, but okay, what do you got? So what else you got? I don't know, because I didn't see all Indians, and in a nail salon is licensed, and you have to get a health license.
Well, truck drivers are licensed too, so that kind of throws that off too.
No, but they were given illegal licenses by Newsom, who has now rescinded the license program from pressure from Sean Duffy. That is why they were turning in their licenses, because that program was considered illegal by the feds. By the way, did you hear this fight between Duffy and the new guy at the Department of Homeland Security, the guy who was a congressman who replaced Noam? They want to prevent international flights from landing in sanctuary city airports, Eric, by pulling customs from the working at the airports. This controversy is fantastic. because the new guy at the Department of Homeland Security and the department wants to pull customs agents that they control from the sanctuary cities' international airports, preventing people from flying in to blue city airports, thereby having them rerouted to red city airports, giving them a financial benefit, while at the same time screwing over these sanctuary cities and punishing them for their illegal activity. Sean Duffy came out, says he's opposed to it. Now he's fighting with what's his name at DHS.
Well,
this
Trump,
is a good one. This is a good one.
Trump
Great
will love
idea. What do you think of the idea?
It's different. I like on the surface, it's one of those that sounds great but then you get into the logistics of having to reroute all the planes and everything else. It could be a very
well, no, it's not rerouting.
So I'm not going to make a decision.
Again, let me repeat it. It's not rerouting planes. If they want to come in from Paris, they're going to have to take a plane to Indianapolis. So that's on them. I mean, the planes themselves are not being rerouted, just to be clear.
Well, I'm just saying that how many flights from Paris to Indianapolis are there truly? And
you got me.
And if there aren't any, then that's where you're going to run into the rerouting problem. So that's all I'm saying. And that's
no. It's not rerouting. If you, Eric Hunley, have to take a plane to San Luis Obispo to get to San Diego, the planes aren't rerouted. You're just taking a flight to another city.
If that's available, sure.
Okay. Well, I don't know where this is going to go. I just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention.
No, it's interesting. Like
I know. I know.
And Duffy is not just like a.
No,
he seems to be a pretty squared away dude. So
right. Well, somebody's going to win this argument, and it's going to be the President Trump is going to let, like we've seen a million times. That. I know. He's going to let them duke it out verbally.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
I'll be curious to see that. So, all right. Well, let's jump through a slew of Mark's new thing. He likes to take pictures of the local paper.
No. Let me explain this, because Hunley's having problems with this. This is a segment I want to do called "Torn from the Headlines," and where we literally tear stories from the headlines and just do them this way. I thought it would be more colorful and more retro than our usual internet slop.
All right.
I don't know what the stories are, but this is a good one, Eric. See?
Yeah. So tell me.
They have put secret cameras all through Oakland, because Oakland is bankrupt, and they're now getting something like 60,000 tickets a day in revenue from the Oakland area. And all of this cash is going into the corrupt Democratic city of Oakland, because of these cameras and the ticketing program that they created with these new speed cams. And the speed cams are everywhere now in the around the city of Oakland.
Unfortunately, we have them here too, in school zones and all over. We're racing hard to be as close to London as possible.
Right.
So people, enjoy your freedom driving, not for long.
Right. Hold on, let me take a look at this one here. What is this one?
All right.
This is the sugar commie. Oh my God, Eric. I didn't even know this. They have these different backers who are socialist billionaires who have independently are the sugar daddies of these LA sugar commie mommies. And the names are listed there below. I don't really know all of them. But most of them are in big high tech, Silicon Valley jobs. And I did not know how much they were giving to these different socialists. And that's how they're doing it. I didn't know. I thought they were just running and winning elections. They each have a puppet master. Wow.
That just, I guess it's like oligarchs in the US or something. Yeah. It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
Let me see.
This is who I was talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you were mentioning Netflix, and I thought we were segueing into this. I have a feeling.
Well, this is from the article.
Sugar. Okay.
These are the benefactors. Patty Quillen, the wife of Netflix co-founder Reed Hastings.
These are the wives and heiresses of fortunes.
Yes.
They don't do it themselves.
Yes, absolutely.
They're Teresa Hineses of the world.
I wanted to bring this to the audience's attention because this is a national phenomenon of these women who have never worked, but either won by divorce or inherited money or whatever. And they are funding almost all of these socialist crazy people and movements in the United States. It really is insane. It really is insane.
Right, that's why I was bringing up Teresa Hines. Isn't she an early example?
Yeah, that was just right. But she was backing moderate mainstream Democrats. I mean, to her credit. I mean, these people are legitimately backing communists only. Quinn Delaney is the heiress to the $8 billion plus Cliff Bar empire. Have you ever had a Cliff Bar, Eric?
20 years ago, maybe?
Right. Well, she's the $8 billion heiress to the Cliff Bar fortune.
Wow. But to be fair, that doesn't mean I haven't had a Cliff Bar product. I have no idea who owns. There's so much crap out there that is owned by other people. But yeah, it's disturbing. Well, I mean, some people would argue that's what Shanahan was.
I am absolutely. So, absolutely. She got the money from Brin, right?
Sergey Brin.
Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google.
All right, here's the Trump sweep mentioned earlier. 118 GOP races.
Yeah, this is the word kingmaker has been used quite a bit here, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, Eric. Go ahead.
Yes. Beyond that, too, because not only is it an almost impossible run, but he's doing it as a lame duck.
Yeah.
How I've
with
never
a 36% approval rating.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, he's literally a lame duck. He can't run again, but he still has this power. I mean, that is, it's historical. I don't think we've ever had anybody in history, even, the famous Teddy Roosevelt, had to break off, do his bull and moose party and everything. And he just helped get Wilson elected.
Well,
he didn't have that
some
much power.
historical person reminded me that the Trump derangement syndrome is almost exactly the equivalent of what Southern newspapers did to Lincoln during his presidency. The level of insanity that was passed along to Southern Democrats at the time, and I never even thought of this. This historian was explaining how the level of insanity among Southern Democrats was perpetuated by Southern newspapers constantly making up stories about Lincoln in the Southern papers, Eric. Never mind the political cartoons that were egregious. The stories were made up to paint Lincoln as a madman, psycho, depraved, sexual pervert, on and on and on and on. And it wasn't in the North. It was just Southern newspapers. Well, and somebody compared it to Trump derangement syndrome is why I'm mentioning that.
What's ironic about that is some of that is carried on to this day because in recent years, the whole Abe Lincoln gay story has been out there, widespread because they're adopting it like, oh my God, he's really a gay icon. Civil rights,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And there's one more thing about the South that I did not know until moving here. My wife was telling me about it. A lot of the bitterness of the South really came not from Confederate soldiers, but actually from their wives, because their wives.
How fitting is that, bro?
They were bitter because the husbands got to fight and at least get out of their systems. They were exhausted. They saw death. They didn't like it. The wives at home, had to take care of the crops. They were starving a lot of times, etc. So that bitterness ran strong. And guess what? They were telling their children as well about the evil of the North and things like that. So there's some interesting history.
If you're a rebel down in our audience, please tell Eric and I 2 bluebellies if we're close.
Just tell Mark.
Well, Arizona was not it. What was Arizona in the Union? Or no?
Arizona did have a Civil War battle, ironically, near Tucson. I think for the South, but I don't know for sure. It was a skirmish. It's kind of like the farther west
you had to
you
find
went,
the other army to have a skirmish. You didn't even know where they were.
Yeah, some of the outside states were almost like bar fights that just were going.
I mean, they had some
further.
battles in Oregon. They had to run into each other somewhere.
Right, and yes, Arizona was a territory.
Territory, yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
become a state until 1912 or 1917.
Well, if any of you Southern rebels have any insight into the newspapers of the period, I'd be curious to hear some input about that. Against Lincoln, against Lincoln.
Yeah, definitely. All right, celebrations to show off plastic surgery.
Again, I mean, just this is you know how they have these reveal parties when you reveal the the sex of the baby. The reveal party is designed for, and I didn't even know this until watching reality TV, my friend. They have a party to reveal the sex of the baby, boy or girl. Well, apparently there's a new type of reveal party where somebody's had plastic surgery, they have a party, and then they reveal the work to the applause or celebration of their co-workers or cohorts.
Can you think of anything more narcissistic than this?
No. How about a goodbye nose party? Or this woman's here with her new breasts. That's this party she's having. That's insane. I had no idea this was going on.
God, I remember when it was a big deal that Phyllis Diller admitted having work done.
Oh, this is a party.
About it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, you know what? It's similar, and I don't know if you've seen it, but steroids are huge, and they're actually, people left and right are saying, yeah, I shoot up, and they're doing videos and TikToks on how to shoot up and everything. I'm like,
this woman had a nose job party for her twin sister, 28, and her best friend, 27, after the pair went to Turkey together to get nose jobs. They requested a cake, and I threw the whole party, she said, and it said goodbye nose, spelling it out in the background, said goodbye nose to the old nose, I guess. This is where we are as the highest level of civilization in the history of the world. And there's so much free time. There's so much money. There's so much stuff that people can do. And that's why the culture is where it is, because we have achieved so much as a culture in terms of increasing quality of life, issues, money, free time, and everything else. This is where it's gone, for better or for worse.
No, and the worse is the self-deletion problem is through the roof because, ironically, poor countries don't have a self-deletion problem because they're too busy saying, how do I get food on the table for my family?
Right.
They don't worry about,
I'll go as
perfect breasts, or is my nose away?
I'll go as far as to say that even within our own country, as you go lower and lower down into the working class, the self-deletion problem disappears, the transgender problem disappears, the gay problem disappears. All of these problems are based on having too much free time and too much money. Go into the working Mexican classes, working class Mexicans. You will not see these issues as part of their life.
Yeah, I agree. When my dad was still around, he was doing a rehab for the barrio in Tucson. And what really shocked me was we were going in the houses, and this is in the late 90s, early aughts, right? And I go in, they had dirt floors. This is in Tucson, Arizona, and they were living in dirt floors. But what was really interesting about it was that they were immaculate. They actually were sweeping the dirt floors. So, yes, it was dirt floors, and they were very poor, but they were very clean. It was like as clean as you could imagine.
Well, nobody says you have to be dirty, and poverty is not required.
But I'm just saying, there was actually pride with this.
Yeah, good point.
All right. Nurse Frey, Gayle King got upset with Oprah Winfrey for refusing to shut down rumors that they were secretly dating. Uh-oh.
Well, people know about this, but this is a story that's recently broke by Gayle King's people that despite numerous requests from Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey refused to do what she wanted, that they weren't in a lesbian relationship.
Yep.
Now, I don't know what you could read into it, what you want, but that's a little unusual, Eric.
True. By the way, we have a comment in from Rumble, and I figure it's a great moment to educate people who may not realize it. we use the term self-deletion for a reason. It's called demonetization on YouTube. And before you say, well, it's not a problem on Rumble, well, there's no money on Rumble either in comparison. So just to let everybody know, when I say stupid things like self-deletion, it's not my choice. I have a gun to my head.
But not on Locals, where we're going to be a little later, which is a fine community of people who support us through thick and thin. So we'll be over on Locals, where we could say whatever the hell we want after this thing ends here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so this, ban is illegal, says Professor. This is about BDS, just taking the food out of stores that was made in Israel. And the reason it's illegal, according to the CUNY professor, is because it targets one country only.
Wow.
Yeah. So this, I think, is going to end up in court. They were celebrating removing anything produced in Israel from the food co-op. And this professor, to his credit, came out and told the media that this is illegal because they're targeting one country.
Which, by the way, if it was Mexico, you would hear the same shit, or any other country in the world. So it's 100% a legitimate claim.
Of course.
And a lot of people don't even think about it. It's like, let's not say Israel. Let's say it's Saudi Arabia.
Well, he said China. I mean, he mentioned China,
or Mexico, or anybody.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna pause our news or from the headline, because we got a $50 super chat while we're talking about support. And I want to segue from this because he brings up something. Great show, guys. Have fun at Anaheim. I'll be there in spirit.
Okay.
Anaheim? What are you talking about there, Mike Schaefer? What is going on in Anaheim? Mark, can you tell us what's going on in Anaheim?
Well, I mean, first of all, Disneyland is there, which is fun. And there's also the soon to be, again, I predict, Anaheim Angels, as the courts have ruled that they can no longer maintain the phony name of Los Angeles Angels, which is going to be actually ruled by a court. And Anaheim will be back on their name as a team, since they're not even in LA County. It's the craziest thing in the world. But we will be having a meetup in Anaheim at the famous Marriott Anaheim Hotel. And you can get rooms there with a secret code for a 20% discount. I looked into it. There's plenty of rooms. I don't know what somebody was talking about. You could put your phone up to this QR code that Hunley has built methodically up there in the right-hand corner. We're going to have on June 27th, we're going to do a live show. We're going to have a gourmet buffet dinner. There's going to be a cash bar. You can party like it's 1999. And we'll be there available for all kinds of questions and answers, group chat, and whatever hell things you want to deliver, books, which I don't mind because I'm taking my car. So whatever you want to bring.
What's for Mark, not me.
Yeah.
I have a suitcase. I can't
accept it.
The weight,
Eric can't because he's flying, but Gary and Anna Bears. Yeah, so we'll be there June 27th. Nate will be around in the audience. And Eric and I will be hosting a show. We've done these meetups before. They're a hell of a lot of fun. Strong. You got a month today, right, Eric? Or
a month or tomorrow is the.
Oh, you got 1 month to get this shit together, folks, which is a good amount of time. For you to get a plane ride or a bus or a train or a car.
A lot of times the fees, from what I understand, this is starting to be the sweet spot. Like the next couple of weeks is the best airfares when it's
that's
not too far out, but not too close.
But yeah, there's plenty of other hotels. I'm just saying we're giving a 20% off discount at the Marriott Hilton, which is a wonderful. It is the flagship of the Marriott chain, by the way. I'm informed by our contact at the Marriott who is handling the ballroom situation. So this is going to be great. I would love to see Al Gonzalez again, but it's a long trip for him and some of the other people. Again, we have if you want a meetup in your town, we invoke the 200-mile rule, Eric, where you have to live 200 miles from the place that you're requesting to have the meetup.
Unless I'm going to give an exception to this rule. If you have the venue and it's a good venue, like you own a particular venue or something, or have influence, then maybe we'll talk to you. Maybe we'll let that go by if you help provide a venue. So
This is
that's
again,
one way, and that's not your kitchen and it's not your backyard.
well,
Okay,
you're
so
gonna
don't
have
get
to
that idea.
convince me, but it's the Anaheim Marriott is the hotel. You don't have to stay there, obviously, but that's where the event's going to be, the Anaheim Marriott. And the description is down below somewhere, Eric, besides
There's link
the menu is there somewhere too.
There's a link to booking the event. When you go to it, you're not automatically booking. You can choose. It'll say what's for dinner, all that good stuff. The instructions on how to get a discount on the hotel rooms.
Yeah, the Anaheim Marriott, which is where the event is a fantastic hotel with ballrooms and everything else, and it's literally across the street from Disneyland. So you literally, they shuttle people back and forth all day and night. And but there's a lot of hotels in the area if you don't want to stay at the Anaheim Marriott. It's just that they're offering 20% off to followers of America's Untold Stories. So I thought that would be great.
Yeah, and we've done it several times now, and I mean, some great people. We have some people who've been to almost every event, and they can definitely fill you in on those. Let me go through some fan support while we're talking about it, because we definitely can always use the support. So thank you very much. Charlie Don't Surf has been a member for 22 months, heading to 2 years. Great content, gentlemen. Thank you, Charlie. Charlie from FLA 4204. Biden has debate disaster. 2 weeks later, attempt made on Trump's life in Butler. Attempt fails. 1 week later, Biden drops out of campaign. Are the events connected? Well, we have discussed that.
Yeah, we have discussed that. The coincidence of that, quote unquote. I mean, is it possible if Trump was eliminated that Biden would have run against a weaker Republican candidate, Eric?
So there was another candidate at the time, and I'm no way saying that is definitely there. I'm just pointing out there was another candidate at the time who was very much in favor with the deep state by the name of Nikki Haley. A lot of people don't have the remember all of that, but
yes, maybe she was their candidate of choice.
Let's just say that if something did happen to that, then automatically, because that was the only candidate who did not drop out, was Nikki Haley, it would have been an election between Biden or Kamala Harris and Nikki Haley.
By the way, Pam Bondi testifying today, not under oath, not on video, being represented by Harmeet Dillon in the Congress today about the Epstein affair. I don't know what that means. She's not under oath, and she has thyroid cancer, apparently. So I just wanted to get that all out about Pam.
Yeah, and by the way, we've had issues with Pam Bondi, but I mean, there's some lunatics out there. There's this liberal who put out a video who was saying, "I hope she suffers the most unimaginable." And I'm like,
it's ridiculous.
What is wrong with you? And the person got fired, thankfully.
People are insane.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
Have they never had anyone in their family suffer? It's just inexplicable to me.
Me too. And have you ever noticed that some of these people who say the nastiest comments will have a "Be Kind" t-shirt on?
I haven't seen that.
They have no sense of irony whatsoever.
By the way, this is what I'm starting to get into now. Highly recommended. The Destructive Generation by Peter Collier and David Horowitz, in my never-ending quest to read every David Horowitz book. It's eye-opening about his complete understanding of the Marxist threat that we're up against. The same theme in all the books. He's an expert on explaining the Marxists from being one himself, from being from the inside, Eric. So I just wanted to give a shout out to that book.
Yeah, I know you're on a roll with that.
Yeah, I'm on a Horowitz
I'm looking forward to you shifting to Thomas Sowell eventually.
Yeah, once I get rid of the Horowitzes, which is going to take a while.
Let me see. William Ratcliffe said, "Thune's next." Talking about Cornyn.
Boy, that would be great.
Yeah, well, Thune has been very, very disappointing. Again,
he's got to go. Dude, these rhinos have got to go.
Yeah, it's crazy though how you have such a dichotomy. Keep bringing it up, but Marco Rubio has been a complete pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
Mike Johnson has been an incredibly great soldier for Donald Trump. Shockingly,
I agree.
Let's see. Richard Lucas is a new member. Thank you very much.
Thank
and then
you.
Mike Schaefer here. Hey guys, being a Pope is a tough gig, I'm guessing.
I don't know. I mean, how tough is it to be I mean, it's tougher to be a Cubs fan than it is. I saw he's wearing a Cubs hat today in Chicago, the Pope. No, I mentioned that because
he could have been a White Sox fan. That would be even worse, right?
It'd be a lot worse. But I mean, he obviously is touting his Chicago roots. I mean, you know, Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, famously said last week, "There's no point in locking up criminals. It doesn't do any good." So he is now opposed to locking up criminals at all costs in Chicago, by the way.
Well, because technically some of them are probably his friends. It's like, if you lock up all criminals, you won't have any friends left. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the Pope is not a Cubs fan. He's wearing a Cubs hat. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
All right. Dan Peters with $20. Thank you,
Dan.
Well, thank you, Dan.
Maybe he's an avowed White Sox fan, apparently, somebody said.
Nah. K-Dog said, if I were king, I would assemble a group of non-batshit crazy liberals and a group of MAGA conservatives to debate on live stream where the liberals argue the MAGA side and MAGAs argue the liberal side, like in high school.
You know, I've said this repeatedly on this channel, and I called for it before the election, of a series of debates across the country on large or small, with not famous people, just regular people, to do that across the country. Eric and I talked about that before the election, which would go on during the course of the year, not just one event. It could be in gymnasiums in Gary, Indiana, high schools. It could be anywhere, but the lineup would be the same. Yeah, like it says, like in high school, that could be a place for them.
Except here, that the idea, what I'm saying is, this idea would fail on its face because very few leftists could argue a MAGA or conservative side because they don't even acknowledge it. They don't, for the most part. You know, Dan Turrentine could, because he's a Democrat who does know both sides of the politics.
Oh yeah. I agree with you.
In general, no, you won't.
I agree with you. I'm talking about straight debate, not flipping sides. That's a luxury I'm not to do. That is way past the point of what I'm saying. I'm just talking about having debates on the local level of both sides, debating with courtesy, with honesty, with politeness, in various venues, large and small, throughout the country, for any election year. Like, in other words, it would be going through to the midterms if I had my druthers, and then for the presidential year, that whole year, the same thing. And it could be sponsored, Eric. I mean, it could be sponsored by Budweiser, for all I care.
And you know, we go back and forth on Halprin and what he put together, and then the Huddle, which is a spinoff of the same thing.
Yeah.
And that format, I would love to see a whole lot more of too, where you put in a Democrat and a Republican on the same show, and they have a dignified, you know, sometimes they debate a little bit, but they acknowledge each other's sides, and you can get at least the opinions from both sides.
Boy, he was getting Larry's goat this morning. Did you see him?
Halpern was getting on my last nerve.
No, I agree with you, but he was getting on Larry's nerves too, Eric, about Iran.
Well, because Halpern just throws stuff out there as if it's this factual moment, and Larry pushed back enough that finally Halpern said, "Okay, yeah, I was being hyperbolic."
Yeah,
it's like, yeah,
he's saying that the world's economy is completely in chaos,
and he just keeps talking. You know.
Yeah. So, by the way, Mark Halpern said, "This is great. I thought of us." He said they've been getting complaints from the audience that the three of them talk over each other, and he said that's the essence of the show. Get over it. And it's very similar to what we've gotten here, but this is three people doing it.
That's funny. By the way, I know you don't listen to the call-in part later on, but I was there early, and they have the same person that calls in Friday. That was hilarious because they have this person calling in that's just kind of like does a segment, and she was not going to deviate from her segment. So Larry's like trying to respond to every part of it. She just kept talking, and finally there he said, "I give up."
Well, they had one guy who thanked them for ending his Trump derangement syndrome. He was super polite. He was super thankful. He said, "I had an incredibly bad case of Trump derangement syndrome. But since I've listened to this show for a year, it's gone away, and I'm a much more open-minded person. He was very sincere about it.
Wow.
I have never heard that, Eric.
Well,
Not that he was a
like
Trump supporter. Not that he had switched sides.
No. Just to calm down.
Yes,
Yeah. It's kind of like that woman, like it's easy to, mock her for not knowing anything about Pratt. But I also give her credit for saying, well, that is a good policy. And okay, I like that.
Right. Well, it's called open-mindedness, I guess. Just being open-minded.
Oh, that's a start. I mean, that's a big start. By the way, on Rumble, Robert Govea's stream rated us or sent a bunch of people over.
I was just looking at him this morning. I was just looking at Govea because he was commenting on that thing that I put up about Todd Blanche, that 9-0 decision, whatever that was, which I forget. I got that from Govea's show.
Govea's a hard-working dude. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. He's somebody that would be great to have on. It seems like he's always going at the same time. So it'll be difficult to do that, but I definitely want to look into it. Let me see. James Bundy gifted 5 America's Untold Stories memberships.
Wow.
We thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see. Kathy, your realtor in Jersey.
Oh, I love it. If I was moving to Jersey, I'd look her up. Why don't you go to Florida so you can find us some houses in Florida? Kathy, get out of Jersey already.
We're going to LA. Mark's not going to move to Florida. He's just talking.
Well, I'm going to go in November, which I usually do, which will be fun around Thanksgiving time.
All right. Well, she said, happy Friday, men. Always a great source of information. Well, thank you, Kathy. And you're always a great support as well. Kimmy Hunt. New Jersey State Police just sent into Newark to help ICE Governor Cave to avoid federal surge. Rioters furious. Well, good.
Those rioters were quite violent the past 2 nights. Maybe the state police can calm them down instead of U.S. Marshals federalizing it. They were asking Trump in the Oval Office what he was going to do about it because they have been incredibly violent, Eric.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. What was it? It's so funny. They're so violent that their senator got pepper spray in his eyes. If I saw that this past week. Isn't that same douche who invaded the ICE facility and got arrested?
I thought that was
the same guy, but maybe not.
The guy who was also there was Bob Menendez's son, and Menendez is in state prison for fraud and embezzlement, and his son was there yelling at Trump as one of the protesters. Plus, the governor of New Jersey tried to get in. The governor herself.
And God, and you know what? Blame Trump for everything, but Menendez went to prison under Biden.
No, I know.
He was so bad.
He wasn't blaming Trump for his father's embezzlement.
Right.
Some of the people were just yelling at him, going, "How's your dad doing?" As if they, God forbid, he was a criminal who stole hundreds of thousands of dollars. How's he doing, by the way? Can I send him a salami?
Didn't he have gold in his freezer?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had gold bars.
Right. We're bringing it full circle.
Just like the CIA.
Exactly. All right. William Ratcliffe. Self-delete just like neighbor uterus by Talafrico.
Yeah. Talafrico has called women in Texas, well, he's in Texas. He's just called women his neighbors. This is how he refers to women. His neighbors with a uterus. That's what Ratcliffe's referring to here.
Doesn't he have 6 genders too?
I think it's more than 6. But they're dude. Again, this prediction of massive landslide victory of the Democrats by Mark Halpern is absurd. And I feel sorry for Larry because he's being super polite. He's also calling for the victory of Talarico in Texas. That is never going to happen. I will tell you that right here. Like I said, that Massey would never win in a million years. I will tell you the same thing's going to happen, that Paxton's going to be the next senator from the great state of Texas.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for Larry too, because Mark has been particularly lately on that. Even Kevin, the other guy, is kind of jumping on Larry.
He's trying to help him a little bit by defending Larry.
So, I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, Carl Burkhalter, Lincoln's law partner William Herndon said Lincoln was often unstable. I've heard
That's rather
things
general.
Like that, but,
That's,
I mean, you know,
that's good.
when
I'm
your
not
wife
talking
is
about-
nuts and your children die, you might be upset. Okay, you know, I mean, things happen.
I think it's way past that. I'm talking about Trump derangement syndrome level attacks on Lincoln by the Southern editors of those papers. And if you're from there and have those old papers, which some of these people might have in their attic, it would be fun to hear from some of those stories from back in the day.
Oh, it absolutely would. But I
do
am
exist,
acknowledging that Lincoln did, you know, have depression and things.
Oh,
because a lot of bad things happened in the guy's life,
including
his wife.
He needed that wife like he needed a hole in the head.
Yeah, well, there you go. But other than that, how was the play?
Well, I mean, she was so annoying, Mary Todd. How about the son? The son was at 2 or 3 other presidential assassinations.
3. He was his dad and the next 2.
He was everywhere.
If he lived long enough, he could have been in Dealey Plaza.
JFK's. Yeah, if he lived long enough. Oh my God!
And it sounds like he probably would have been. It's like insane. James Bundy, thanks for mentioning Destructive Generation. I have read it twice. You know the history, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I'm going to dig into it. This is like my 7th Horowitz book in this year, so I'm trying to get through them all. Wow, yeah, these are great. I highly recommend it. You see, I believe that we should teach Marxism in school. You know, besides teaching capitalism in elementary school and junior high and high school, I believe we should also teach Marxism from a conservative point of view, the reverse of what's happening right now. I think both should be as mandatory as reading, writing, and arithmetic. Both.
Well, ironically, when I was in high school in the 80s, I did have a class, Literature of Totalitarianism.
Oh, wow. Where was that? College or?
No, high school. But
high school. Okay, that's great.
Kid.
That's great.
And it was, you know, not obviously communism, but it went beyond that. It was like
right. Wow. We need that on a national public school level, and we need the teaching of capitalism at the same level as well for decades, just to get out of this rut.
That'd be nice. JS with a lot of other letters. Thanks. You're the best looking conservative commenters on YouTube in the 3 to 5 Friday p.m. time frame, but that could be just my fat ass talking. You know what? I'll take it. I'll take that very narrow scope.
It's a narrow window, JS, but we'll accept the $4.99 definition.
$9.99 even.
Oh, $9.99. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it says a 4 in his number there. Yeah.
It's twice.
I think Code Pink has been indicted, and I believe that Hassan Piker has got subpoenas as well.
Right. They're under investigation.
Under investigation. Haven't been indicted yet. Yeah, that's going to go to a grand jury.
He is very, 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 very.
And don't forget the E.G. Carroll investigation by DOJ for committing perjury on the stand, Eric.
Oh, well, there you go.
He's starting to fight back. He's starting to fight back, Eric.
Which, you know, to his credit, we were impatient with him.
Yeah,
well, and he did have a lot on his plate.
Yeah,
and still does.
I agree.
That's a Big Bill 767. Great show, great info, and always entertaining.
You like and subscribe to the channel. And somebody said the other day, the only 2 people they've stuck with through thick and thin of this podcast rebellion is us and Salty Cracker.
I haven't heard and talked to Salt. You know, I haven't heard from Salty for a while. He's another. Razor Fist is kind of sticking around and doing some stuff. There's a few.
There's only a handful of us who have not gone crazy.
Yeah. It's I know how people feel. We haven't moved.
No, I know.
It's like everybody's around us, and then it's like, wait a minute.
You know what's so funny? Even early on, there were people going. So many times they go, some subject that we were on one side of another, they would just go, "That's it, I'm out of here." Like it was just some random thing. It's just amazing that if you do not hear 100 talking points that line up with your 100 talking points, you can't possibly watch a show. It's just insane.
And if we're not 100% alignment, I think we disagreed 3 times tonight. I mean, we don't even just agree, but it somehow.
No, it's better if we agree on everything. It's better viewing if we agree on everything.
Oh my God! But anyway, you know what? One place we can disagree or agree or say things other than self-deletion is on Locals, where we can use the actual words, real words. And I encourage some of you to follow on Tuesday. I showed, how Locals goes a little, and I'm going to start doing that a little bit more so you guys can see that. And hopefully,
let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Locals, we wouldn't financially be alive right now. So thanks for all the support on Locals. If you want to get involved, listen to what Eric's saying.
Yes. Unstructured.locals.com. It is a fantastic place to support us. And even if you're just a member for free, there's a ton of material you get. It does help us. It gives us a way to communicate with you if, things are going bad. I post, every time we have the show, it is going out in your email on Locals, for the live streams. I don't post on the clips all the time because some of you have seen that. But it helps us out a ton. Unstructured.locals.com. I hope you consider just checking it out, hanging out with us.
And check out the Oswald miniseries that Eric and I did about the audio drama, and that's worth the price of admission for the year, in my humble opinion, plus the LBJ one, and there'll be another one we're working on right now.
Definitely. And hope to see you there. If not, well, we will see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday then. But come on over. Join us over there in the spirit of freedom.
Perfect.